Edgar. Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Easy. Easy. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
By out of here, he means putting you in a chair.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late. Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
He's still got his stethoscope.
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Jeffrey McCullum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the Skal epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
To prove him wrong, I let him go.
Really? You sure that was the wisest course of action?
Time will tell. The most intriguing part of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall. Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
I'm gonna choose you are hiding something.
I think you're hiding something, Edgar.
What do you mean?
William Marshall, for example. You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
What can you tell me about William Marshall?
Not much. History paints the story he was the greatest knight who ever lived. Amongst the immortals, he had a yet greater legend.
Why is the Guard of Priwen so obsessed with him?
He was the only ancient vampire to escape the first great hunt launched by the Guard of Priwen in 1854. They believe he's an evil creature plotting his return.
He escaped.
Why would he deserve such a reputation?
I cannot say. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole has next to no intelligence on him. All I know is that he's supposed to be the oldest of all the British vampires.
If he escaped, then what about the Ascalon Club? Why do they think he's dead?
Why would the Guard of Priwen believe you and I created the vampire epidemic?
Maybe due to our profession. Because I offered you shelter in my hospital.
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of McCullum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Do you remember when we suspected Sean Hampton of killing Harriet Jones?
Yes. The terrible episode that came as a shock to us all.
Harriet Jones faked her own death. When I found her in the sewers, she confessed she wanted everybody to pay for what happened to her.
That woman was extremely bitter, full of hatred and festering anger.
Just like her daughter as well.
Do you know Doris Fletcher's real name?
No, I'm afraid not.
Her real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of Harriet Jones.
What do you want me to say, Jonathan?
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick, That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms: blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
So, when we asked Harriet Jones if she had killed anybody, I don't remember if she said that she did or not. But she definitely said that the voice in her head said to kill things, and especially me. The voice in her head hated me.
Come on, Edgar. Don't you see the pattern here? The epidemic, the link between Doris and Harriet, the suspicion of McCullum?
How could I? I never saw Harriet Jones again after she fled the hospital.
Do you know where we are? Doris Fletcher's theater. This is where that hateful creature plotted to spread the epidemic across London.
I only briefly met Miss Fletcher once when she visited the Pembroke Hospital. You say it was to see her mother. She seemed like such a sweet and graceful woman.
My point exactly. The disease turned her into a bitter soul, driven by vengeance just like her mother, a symptom of all the infected patients.
Certain diseases are known to produce similar effects. Rabies, for example. And rabies is not the devil at work.
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
Right, I admit it. I boldly ventured into experimental realms, but I've killed no one to appease my thirst for knowledge, Jonathan. I'm no murderer.
I never asked to become what I am, Edgar. You chose to conduct your rogue experiments.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
Yes, Edgar, you're about to die. I won't say it's fair, but I can't say you don't deserve it.
Your words hurt deeply, Jonathan. But they come from a friend. I helped you, remember?
Yes, I remember.
The second I saw you in that bar, I knew we would accomplish great things, you and I.
I thought you were a vampire, till you brandished that cross.
You looked so lost when you opened that door. For a few seconds, I thought you were there to kill me.
I think we were both afraid.
And now, I feel true fear. Is there an afterlife? What will become of me when I'm dead, Dr. Reed?
I really cannot say, Dr. Swansea.
In the end, life betrays us all.
Talk to Lady Ashbury. Hint failed. Yes, I would guess so. And we got a small key. I think during that cutscene, Reed came to a realization, and I think it might have something to do with the blood of Lady Ashbury. My most exquisite friend, everything is now ready for our journey to France. We'll leave from Dover on the 17th, and we will spend the whole summer in Paris. I can't wait to taste all the delicate flavors that wonderful city has to offer, and I can't wait to try them all with you. Music, food, theater, architecture, perfumes, fashion, and you, exclamation mark. Oh, what a delight it will be. I already wrote to some of my good artist friends who will be as delighted as me to see you on stage in French theater. Edmond Rostand, potentially, should be there. I know you like his work very much, and I count on him to introduce us to the magnificent Sarah Bernhardt, potentially. What would be the greatest achievement of this journey? I can't wait to hold you again in my arms, my sweetest delight, and drink again the source of your divine talent. Calhoun. Calhoun? Calhoun. This is like 7 years ago or something. Calhoun? Yes, Calhoun Roussel. Calhoun was lover of the famous actress Doris Fletcher for a time. And she kept his love letter. Oh, this is what that key was for. It's just a way out.
I will return later.
Will you? No, that's not the button. So I need to go to Lady Ashbury. Do we have any side... Well, I want to talk to this guy. Bring the note... Oh, yeah. Also, that... I forgot about that, actually. Yeah, let's talk to Calhoun first.
So Harriet Jones became the original carrier when Edgar gave her vampire blood. I must tell Elizabeth.
Yes, that is the main objective.
This is no stupid fucking face!
Let's see what happens here. Stop it.
Die, beast!
No, die. Only feel my blood. And give me experience. Okay, are we going the right direction? Sort of. I need to take a right turn, I think. You're outside, dude.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Calhoun, tell me about your relationship with Doris Fletcher.
Oh, Doris. Cold fire and burning ice trapped in a perfect body. Our passion was as intense as it was brief. What an actress.
How did you meet her?
On a boat to France before the war. She was thinking about a career in Paris, and I was eager to try French gastronomy. We both returned disappointed.
I expect you've seen her on stage, too.
She really is the best actress of her generation. Such frailty and such strength at the same time. I hope she'll play again soon. She's been away for too long.
You sound surprisingly sad. Have you regrets?
I think of her as a divine dish. I'm glad I was able to taste it, but I regret I could only get a bite of her mystery.
You really loved her, then?
She fascinated me, Dr. Reed. I can't imagine what she must have endured through her life to reach such a level of emotion and sensibility.
Yeah, I don't know that sounds like love.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell.
Anyway, let's go talk to what's his name? The primate. It's the primate. They're still here. I doubt they changed.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
Yeah, they didn't. Hello.
A red river, a song in the dark, the whispers of a sun. So many signs to interpret.
A red river.
Good evening, Jonathan Reed. Can I help you in any way?
Tell me the truth, Usher. Are you a vampire?
By the stole, you really thought you could force Usher Talltree to yield to your little mind tricks like an oblivious mortal?
Why can't I force you to answer me then?
I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole. It comes with certain advantages, like accessing the greatest library in the country and avoiding answering certain questions.
So, are you or are you not a vampire?
As a brilliant man once said, to be unambiguous can only be to one's own detriment.
Nah, that man wasn't that brilliant.
I found your notebook. The one the guard of Prewen stole from you.
And you've brought it back to me. That's excellent news, Jonathan. Were you able to keep yourself from reading it?
No.
Ah, the oldest temptation of all. If Pandora herself did not pass the test, I suppose I should not blame you for your curiosity.
So you're not angry with me?
Why should I be? To live is to make choices, Jonathan. And you made yours. Now give it to me, please.
Investigation succeeded.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. Perhaps London will survive the epidemic, but I see terrible trials awaiting in the future.
Mm-hmm. So now, Lady Ashbury. Oh, actually, I don't know the way. It's just going. It's the same street. She leaves. Lady Ashbury lives in the same street that I do. Look at this. That's my house. And then we go this way.
Women die too in this war.
Right here.
Anything to connect me to this city anymore?
Right here. There's a barricade, but it doesn't matter. Right, get past this guy because he sucks.
You're mine, vermin!
And there it is. See? This guy is optimistic, but that doesn't matter. A little bit on the tired side of things. Okay. White phosphorus. Nice. Lovely castle. In the painting. She's here, right?
What good fortune brings you back to me, Jonathan? What is it, my dear?
I'm afraid it's bad news, Elizabeth. The worst, actually.
Please, speak up.
Edgar is no longer in McCullum's grasp. I resolved that matter.
Where is our good friend now? Is he well?
He was mortally wounded. I put an end to his misery.
That is terrible, Jonathan. And yet you did what you must. The poor man.
Edgar Swansea was responsible for the Skal epidemic, Elizabeth. It was he who unleashed the deadly scourge upon London.
What? Are you certain? This is the most terrible accusation of all.
He confessed everything to me. He sought to cure the disease, to exploit vampire blood to stop the epidemic. But he unwittingly gave birth to a catastrophe.
All those poor victims. How could he do it? What happened?
I think the second one. He gave no heed to ethics. Not that was the issue. God knows if giving no heed to ethics would cause a catastrophe of vampires invading our city. We would all be dead by now.
Edgar gave no heed to ethics. His theory could have been proven to be correct, but he abused the confidence of his patients to test it.
I must say I'm shocked, Jonathan. Who would have thought it? And the poor patient. Let me guess. It was Harriet Jones, was it not?
Yes. That explains how Doris Fletcher was infected, and how she became an Icor. She secretly visited her mother at Pembroke.
Then we have no choice. We must act quickly, Jonathan. We must return to the sewers and put an end to the threat poor Harriet embodies.
I have one more matter to discuss with you. Harriet Jones was the primary case, but do you know what a healthy carrier is?
There is a tone in your voice that frightens me, Jonathan. What are you trying to say?
It was your blood Edgar used for his experiment on Harriet Jones.
What? No. No. This can't be. Oh, God.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
No, I have to go.
What do you mean?
Leave me alone. Save the city, Jonathan. Save what can be saved.
Elizabeth, I need answers. Why did your blood
Stay
cause
away
this?
from me. Please. I swear I never was your enemy.
Wait! No! Elizabeth!
Oh, what was she painting? She did something to get her blood infected, didn't she? What was she painting? She was just applying the base coat. Which means... I don't actually know what kind of paint that would be. But it, in all likelihood, means that the lightest shade would be that red. I believe there are some paintings, very famous paintings of very dark red. Antidote. What the hell? Prepare to fight the disaster, capital D. Elizabeth has fled away, and I have not been able to stop her. She looked so shocked when I told her that Edgar used her blood on Harriet Jones, that she might be the real source of infection. So many questions are left unanswered. For now, I have to find Harriet Jones and stop her like I stopped her daughter Doris. I have to prepare myself for the battle to come. And I need to gather the ingredients. Oh, it's that thing.
Now would be a good time to blend the recipe Marshall used when he fought the disaster. I think I know where to find what I need.
There's 3 locations? Well, let's start with the closest one. We're gonna drink the pee. It is the pee of King Arthur. King Arthur peed in a bottle, and then McCallum went and drank it. And that's how he was able to control the lamps in the ceiling. Because the ceiling had a bunch of lamps. And they weren't RGB. They were all just white lamps. So it didn't look pretty, but he made the best he could.
Whose blood could be purer than that of William Marshall? Lord Redgrave will have to spare me a drop.
Oh, Lord Redgrave. Right. I thought Karina might have been the one somehow. Because she eats the rats. So, of course, she has the purest of blood.